Hey kids, it's good to see you again, even if it's only through Zoom. Once again, soon we'll be back in our church. But until then, I have another very important question for you. This one is very different from last week. This one's really going to make you think. Put on your thinking cap. Okay, so here's the question. Where do you think true, lasting happiness is found? That's a pretty profound question, isn't it? Hmm. Do you think maybe it's found in having lots of toys? Or maybe living in a big, beautiful house? Or how about if you had all the money in the world and you could buy the fanciest clothes, take really expensive trips around the world, eat in the finest restaurants? Basically, with all the money in the world, you could buy whatever you wanted, whenever you wanted. Wouldn't that be amazing? Do you think that would make you happy? Well, I'm going to tell you a story about a man who asked that very same question. Where do you think true, lasting happiness is found? But before I tell you the story about him, I want to show you what the Bible has to say about that. Actually comes from Matthew chapter 6, and it was a very famous message that Jesus gave. It was so famous, it was actually called the Sermon on the Mount. It was a message that he gave. He was on top of a mountain with his disciples, and it was probably a real sunny, bright, afternoon, and it covers 3 chapters in the Bible. So this was a long message. And part of it, you even know this because we talked about it in Sunday school. It's called the Beatitudes, how we should be in life. He taught the people how to be kind, how to be forgiving, how to be gentle, how to be loving, and how to be happy. And let me read you part of this from the Sermon on the Mount. In Matthew 6, Jesus says, "Don't store up treasures here on earth, where moths eat them and rust destroys them, and where thieves break in and steal. But store your treasures in heaven, where moths and rust cannot destroy, and thieves do not break in and steal. Wherever your treasure is, there the desires of your heart will also be. Seek the kingdom of God, and above all else, and live righteously, and he will give you everything you need." That's Jesus' words from Matthew 6. And now, my story about a man who was very wealthy. This man had so much money, he could buy anything his heart desired. And he did exactly that because he was trying to find true, lasting happiness. So one day, he went out and he bought himself a big, beautiful boat. And so he sailed his boat all over the seas, and he thought surely that would make him happy. But you know what? It didn't. And so then he decided, well, the boat didn't make me happy. What if I bought a gorgeous, beautiful, huge mansion? So he did. He bought a beautiful, big mansion. And you know what, kids? That didn't make him happy either. And he thought, well, you know what? I just need to get out of this place, and I'm going to buy me something that a lot of people don't have in life. You got to be really rich to own one of these. And so he said, I am going to buy me a jet, and I'm going to fly all over the world. Whoosh! Surely that will make me happy. And you know what? That didn't even make him happy. But he landed in a village that had a church in it. And he noticed coming out of this church, all the people were happy and excited, smiles on their faces. They were having a grand old time. So he stopped by that church and he asked them, what makes you happy? You see, I have all the money in the world, but I am not happy. And they told him, you know You just need to get rid of that jet. It's extra. You don't need it. Put this down here. And you can get rid of that big, beautiful mansion. You're only one person. What do you need a mansion for? You can get rid of that mansion. It's all extra. And you definitely don't need the jet. So he got rid of all that extra stuff. And they told him, when you get rid of that and you give your heart to Jesus, you will find true happiness. For true, lasting happiness can only be found when you give your heart to Jesus. Isn't that awesome, kids? So what we can learn from this story is how not to seek the treasures of this world, for they are not lasting. True happiness, kids, is found in Jesus. When you give your heart to him, because remember, kids, he died on that cross to take away your sin. And when you put your faith, your heart, your trust in him, he gives you, here it is, let me show you this. Everything that we took away, what does he do with that? I'm going to show you. Look at this. What am I going to make with this? You're probably wondering, what in the world is she going to do? What do you think that Jesus gives you? Wow, what am I doing? Let's see. Oh, I'm missing a piece right here. What is that? He gives you life. He gives you everlasting life. Isn't that awesome, kids? So don't seek the treasures of this world. Remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Jesus gives you everlasting life. And that brings us to our verse today. And our verse is in John 14:6. Oh, what is this? I have a poster I made out of it. Look at that. Popped right out of the Bible. And our verse is, here it is. Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one can come to the Father except through me. John 14:6. And our verse today, kids, we actually have the motions in a song. So here it is. I hope you enjoy it. You might want to stand up. You're going to have to stand up to do the motions and see if you can follow along. It's a really fun song, which is our verse. All right. See you next week. Bye.